Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Timidantasya Jnananjanat Shalakaya Chakshurun samidham jena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Judhapatakamallam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahakana Raghunatham Vitham Tham Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Bhadam Sahakana Balita Shri Vishakam Scha. He Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Asyatya Deshatarine. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namostate Takta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Ranamani Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patithanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you for being here this evening. Yesterday, we were discussing the idea, the truth of what it really means to be in Vrindavan. In Krishna book written by Srila Prabhupada, he writes how in Vrindavan everyone everything is focused on giving pleasure to Krishna. When Krishna becomes the center of our life, when pleasing Krishna becomes the purpose of everything we do, wherever we may be in the world, our consciousness is in Vrindavan. And we come on these holy pilgrimages for the purpose of leaving all of the distractions behind in our life, putting aside for some time every other responsibility we may have, to totally immerse ourselves in surrendering our consciousness to Krishna. In the association of devotees in holy places, we are going to many of these very holy sites where Krishna or his beloved devotees have performed their pastimes. And on the spiritual platform, it is Nitya Lila. They are eternal. They are forever taking place. And they are revealed to us according to the extent in which we absorb ourselves in serving Krishna, in remembering Krishna. We come together for hari-katha, for hari-kirtan. We're taking Krishna's holy prasad together. During a yatra, we really have no other purpose except fix our consciousness in devotional service. And those who are cooking, some of them rise at 2 o'clock every morning. There's a couple hundred people involved in cooking and washing the gigantic pots. Engineers dovetailing their propensities to make railway lines for the pots, cranes to lift them, all with very simple natural technologies. The spirit is to serve, to be absorbed. Rupa Goswami explained that the nature of a real devotee who is really in contact with Krishna is such a person has no inclination to criticize others. Sometimes, as a tremendous austerity, a person may have to point out certain problems in another, as a doctor may point out in a patient for the purpose of helping, healing, uplifting, or protecting others. But if there is any envy in our heart, if there is any arrogance in our heart, such criticism is a great impediment in our spiritual progress. So when we come to Vrindavan, we want to absorb ourselves simply in hearing about Krishna, speaking about Krishna, and absorbing all of our mind and senses in serving the dham, the devotees, and the Lord. In other words, to put Krishna in the center. To put Krishna in the center is the easiest thing. But unfortunately, since time immemorial, we have habituated ourselves through many, many births to put ourselves in the center. Somehow or other, we have to move this false ego aside. And when Krishna or his devotees are in this world, sometimes the Lord uses his most beloved devotees as examples to teach the rest of us. Arjuna was Krishna's dear friend. He loved Krishna, and Krishna loved him. But in Kurukshetra, by Krishna's Yogamaya potency, he put Arjuna in a state of confusion, bewilderment, because he wanted to speak to the world through Arjuna. Here in Vrindavan, there are many incredible lessons meant for us to really understand what is Krishna consciousness. Jiva Goswami when he was just a little tiny boy, he saw Lord Chaitanya when his father Anupam and his two uncles Rupa and Sanatan met Lord Chaitanya at Ramakeli. He saw his father and he saw his uncles who gave him such love, who he honored and respected and loved more than anything because he was so small. When he saw how they were surrendering with such humility to Lord Chaitanya, how they bowed down, how they were crying, the types of prayers they were offering, it completely transformed his life forever. What great people do, common people follow. And actually, every one of us is expected to be a leader, whoever we are, whatever role we may take. We should be leaders by setting an auspicious example for people to follow. Srila Prabhupada would sometimes tell us that when he was a little boy, his father would invite a group of sadhus almost every night for prasad. And Srila Prabhupada's mother and father would prepare the prasad and serve the prasad, and they would have little Abhay, Prabhupada's name at the time, helping to serve the prasad. And when Srila Prabhupada saw this, it had a deep effect on him. He said every morning he would hear a little bell ringing, and his mother and father together would be worshipping Radha Govinda, the family deities. They would regularly take him to the Radha Govinda temple, a larger temple which was for their community. And in the evenings, they would be doing this seva. And the only blessing poor Mohan Dey would ask of these sadhus, please bless my son that he will be a great devotee of Radharani. Now we understand that Srila Prabhupada was a Shaktivesh, special soul who came to this world for a divine mission. But still, the lives of great persons are to teach us. And throughout his life, in fact, the Krishna book he dedicated to his father, who gave him this example from his earliest childhood, and who his eternal father, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, brought such a deeper perception of the same principles of pure devotional service, putting Krishna in the center. Rupa Goswami wanted to teach this principle to the world through his most beloved disciple, Sri Jiva Goswami. In the Bhakti Ratnakar, there is a story of how Rupa Goswami was just completing the writing of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And at that time, Sri Vallabha Bhatt came to visit him. Vallabha Bhatt was a very, very dear associate of Lord Chaitanya. He was a profound scholar, a great Paramhamsa Vaishnava, and he was senior to them in age. So out of affection, because in those days, the different groups of Vaishnavas had very, very deep affection for each other and respect. So Vallabha, out of love, he said to Rupa Goswami, after hearing the Mangalacharya of his manuscript, he said, if you like, I will edit this for you. Oh, Rupa Goswami was so happy. He said, yes, you please take this manuscript and you edit it and make it better. While this exchange was happening, Jiva Goswami was fanning Rupa Goswami with some leaves because it was a hot day. And Jiva Goswami went to the river Yamuna, where Vallabhacharya was looking at the manuscript. And Jiva Goswami, he said, what is it that you're editing now? He told him, this is what I'm doing, because you see, according to one's bhava, or one's particular nature of love for Krishna, and according to one's particular perception of service, or from the angle of vision, philosophically we may look at something, there are different ways of understanding the same principles sometimes. One time, one of the most respected scholars of Sanskrit and Hinduism came to meet Srila Prabhupada. He's an American man. He said, Swamiji, why is it that there are so many contradictions among the great acharyas? And Srila Prabhupada's answer was quite shaking. He looked at this great professor, PhD, and he said, there are no contradictions among the great acharyas. That was all. Because when there's a higher vision, we can understand that there are different perceptions and different lessons, and according to time and circumstance and place and particular mood of love, explaining the same principles in different ways. So this is what was happening. Sri Ballabhabhata was making some adjustments, and Jiva Goswami, he had such deep, profound faith in Rupa Goswami, he didn't want to see anything changed. So he explained very sweetly, very nicely, very respectfully to Ballabhabhata that actually this is, just leave it as it is. And they got in a discussion about it, and Ballabhabhatacharya was ecstatic to see the devotion, the chastity, the scholarship of Jiva Goswami, and he very happily, he got up, he went back to Rupa Goswami, he gave him the manuscript. He said, actually, this doesn't need to be edited. Rupa Goswami said, why are you saying that? He said, oh, your Jiva, he has already explained to me what you're trying to say, and it's perfect. And then he left. So what Jiva Goswami did was perfect, but Rupa Goswami wanted to make an example for us. He said, why did you disturb him? He's a senior person. He wanted to help me. Why are you so proud that you think that you know better? Vrindavan is a place where no one with even a single grain of pride has a right to reside in. Go home. You are not fit to live in Vrindavan. Now, Jiva Goswami was so humble. He didn't defend himself. Guru Maharaj, I was doing this for you. I was trying to defend your honor. Jiva Goswami, from the very core of his heart, he agreed with what his guru was saying. That yes, I do have pride. I am not fit to live in Vrindavan. And he left. And as he was walking, he was feeling so much deep, deep remorse, and at the same time, he wanted to purify himself. So on the bank of the Yamuna, there is a very holy place called Nandaghat. And according to Bhakti Ratnakar, he made a little hut out of leaves. And he lived there. And he was crying out the holy names day and night to rectify his false pride. That was his mood. There was no false pride. But that's the humility of a saint. Saintly people consider themselves to be the most fallen because they understand the greatness and the pureness of Krishna to experience. He would just eat. People would give him a little wheat, and he would just put it in some Jamuna water and drink it. That was his diet. He gave up his sleeping. He gave up practically all eating. He was just crying out Krishna's names day and night. And one day, Sanatana Goswami happened to be coming through that area. And the local people said, such a Baba we have in our little village. You can't believe all he does is just chant all day, and he's crying in such ecstasy of love. And Sanatana Goswami went to meet him, and he saw that Jiva Goswami, his health was practically nothing because of the way he was living. And Sanatana Goswami went back to Rupa Goswami and told him. And Rupa Goswami came and brought Jiva Goswami. And Rupa Goswami personally, with his own loving heart, nursed Jiva Goswami back to health. As we have expressed many times, we cannot imitate this. And we should not be discouraged when we see the mountains of arrogance and pride in our own hearts, and we see that here's somebody who didn't even have a trace, and he was weeping and crying the holy names out to purify himself. But what we can understand very clearly is this is what our potential is. And how to reach that potential. By understanding the gravity of putting Krishna in the center of our life. Through seva, through service. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita there is a story. There was an extremely wealthy landowner, or zamindar. His name was Subudhi Rai. He owned vast tracts of land, had beautiful homes. So many people were paying taxes to him. He was like a king of a province. And he was very affectionately taking care of people who were helping him. And there was one young Muslim boy who was just a simple boy. And Subudhi Rai took him in and treated him like his own son, and was engaging him in various services and maintaining him. And one time that boy did something, they were digging a lake, and he was doing some things that were actually very dangerous to himself. He was doing it wrong. So Subudhi Rai, gave him a slap with a bush to make sure that this, and in his back, that, this is dangerous, don't do this again. And the boy understood that he's like my loving father protecting me. But later on, that boy became a Nawab, a local king, extremely powerful. And one day his wife saw that mark on his back and said, "Who did this to you?" He said, "Subudhi Rai." She said, "He must be killed. You are the king now, you must kill this man." He said, "I love him. He loved me. I was like his father. I was like his son. He was like my father." He got a little angry once, but, it's no thing. It's nothing. He was doing it for my own sake. She said, "No, you must kill him." He said, "I can't do that." So she said, "Then take away his caste. It's killing without killing." So he didn't know what to do. And he actually had some sprinkling of water on him, and according to the orthodoxy of the time, he lost his caste. And he was completely rejected. So Subhuti Rai, he went to Varanasi. He went to some Brahmins. He said, how can I restore my social status again? They said, oh, this is what they did to you? They put contaminated water on you? Oh, very serious. Only one thing could be done. You take pure ghee, pure oil from the cow, and you heat it up until it's smoking, large quantity, and then you drink it all. And what will happen is you will die. But because you die with all that pure ghee in you, you will take your next birth and have your social status restored. This is how ritualistic people can be. So he wanted a second opinion. He went to some other Brahmins and said, this is what they told me. They said, no, it's not such a big thing. Don't worry about it. You don't have to drink boiling ghee. So then he was really confused, because everyone's giving him different opinions. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Varanasi just at that time, on his way to Vrindavan. He was staying at the house of Chandrasekhar Acharya, taking his prasad at Tapan Mishra's home. And Subhuti Rai approached him and told him about the conflict of all the different opinions. And this was something very important to him. And Lord Chaitanya smiled. He said, all you have to do is go to Vrindavan. Live in Vrindavan. Do seva in Vrindavan and constantly chant Hare Krishna. Not only will you restore your social status, who cares about that? Sarvadharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja. You will attain the ultimate perfection of life. So Subhuti Rai had such faith in that. He left everything, all his wealth, all his security, and he came to Vrindavan. And he purposely did not bring anything with him, because he wanted to feel himself completely dependent on Krishna. What he did is he would go into the forest and pick up dry wood that had naturally fallen from the trees. And he would go into the town of Mathura, and he would sell that dry wood and get a little bit of money. And with that money, he would serve the devotees of Lord Chaitanya that were coming from distant places. Srila Prabhupada explained that many of Lord Chaitanya's devotees were from Bengal and Odisha. And in Bengal and Odisha, especially in those days when they weren't having importing and exporting, they ate the local food, which was rice. But Vrindavan, the local food is roti, chapati, wheat. And the Bengalis, when they came here, they didn't get any rice, only roti. So most of them would suffer from indigestion. Subhuti Rai, with the money he got from selling the little wood, which was almost nothing, he used all of it to buy rice, so that they could have nice rice. And he would also get dahi. or yogurt from the cows of Vrindavan, and he would put medicinal salt and so it would cure their indigestion. And he knew that Bengalis like to be massaged too, so he would get some oils to massage them. This was his life, just serving the devotees in such a simple way, cooking for them, massaging them, giving them medicine. And most of all, he would take them on tour of the 12 forests of Vrindavan and show them all of the places and give them such a wonderful experience on their pilgrimage. To serve pilgrims is a very, very holy opportunity. Srila Prabhupada said that anyone who comes to our temple, we should understand that they are personally invited by Krishna. They are Krishna's guests. And we're just Krishna's servants. How we should take care of those who are Krishna's guests. That is the consciousness. This is Subhuti Rai's way of living. Anyone who comes to Vrindavan is Radharani and Sri Krishna's special guest. Let me give them a full experience as far as possible to take care of their health, and to show them and give them kathas and have kirtans with them and give them nice prasad. There are many stories, Yadubar Prabhu and Vishaka Devi who are here. They can tell us about the early days in Mayapur dham. Devotees were becoming very sick from the West. And Srila Prabhupada was so attentive that they had their mosquito nets, that they had proper medicines, that they had properly prepared prasad that would not only sustain them and make them happy, but make them healthy. Very concerned. I was just reading in the book about Yamuna Devi's life, where Srila Prabhupada specially gave her this service. The devotees were coming to Vrindavan and getting so sick, and they were in so much anxieties. So he told Yamuna Devi that I am entrusting you with all of these devotees to make sure they have very nice prasad, that they have proper medicines when they're ill, that they have proper accommodations. They could be very simple, but proper and clean. You see,